Is raising awareness of a difficult issue. Today, more than 2,000 lives will be lost to suicide. The team over at Didi Hirsch's Suicide Prevention Center is working to stop that.
Next weekend, they're hosting their annual Walk-In Awareness event, Alive Together, Uniting to Prevent Suicide. So joining us to discuss our Suicide Prevention Center Vice President Shari Sinwelski and actress and advocate Sarah Gilman. Good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
So I want to start with you, Sarah. First, can you kind of tell us just how you got involved with this program and why it's so important to you?
Absolutely. I have personally struggled with suicidal ideation and depression since I was in middle school. And when I was in college, I was in a period of crisis on my way to kind of enact my own suicide plan. And I happened to be stopped at a light and look over and see the Suicide Prevention Center sign that Didi Hirsch has over in Westwood. And to me, that felt like a little sign from the universe to stick around. And I think it's the importance of having those words. That it's the first center to have it publicly displayed in the nation, suicide prevention, and it saved my life. So that's how I came to be involved with Didi Hirsch.
What an incredible moment to think about that all it took is that sign to go, you know what, this is a literal sign that I need to still be on this earth. So what a story. Tell us about the Alive Together event, Sarah, and the 2,160 steps. What are those?
The 2,160 steps are one step for everyone who will be lost to suicide each day globally. So it was repurposed from the Alive and Running event for the last, I think, 2 decades. It was a 5K that brought together survivors of loss and attempts. And it's been repurposed into this walk to bring together this community and help raise awareness and funds for the Suicide Prevention Center and for the cause. It's really amazing. There's going to be a fireside chat and panel that Shari and I will be on. There's going to be inspirational speakers and people sharing their stories, booths with resources, and then everyone will walk together and just kind of share in this community.
You know, Shari, the whole reason your organization creates programs like this is because of Sarah's story. So what is it exactly that you want people to know about suicide prevention?
Well, you know, suicide affects lots of people every year. Unfortunately, in the United States alone, we see typically about 45,000 people dying by suicide. And for everyone that dies by suicide, many, many people are impacted by that. But we also know that for everybody that dies by suicide, 316 people seriously consider suicide and find a way to live. You know, people like Sarah, people who find inspiration and hope. And we're hoping to support both those people who've lost someone to suicide, but also to encourage people who are contemplating suicide that there is hope and that there's someone that they could talk to.
This is so incredible. As a fairly new mom, fairly new dad, Doug, both, you know, parents to be again coming up. The number of young people that you're hearing take their own lives is alarming. And I feel like that's been maybe in the last couple of years, that drastic increase. Earlier this year, and this is so helpful, California introduced the 988 Crisis Hotline. What does it offer and why is it so important?
Yeah, 988 is a 3-digit number that allows people across the entire nation actually to reach their local crisis center. So anywhere they are, anywhere across the United States, 24 hours, 7 days a week, just by dialing 988, they'll reach a counselor who's been trained in suicide prevention, someone who's really able to stop and listen, not judgmentally, and to just be there for the person who's on the other line. We know how hard it can be sometimes to reach out for help, especially when you're feeling like your life is not worth living. And so people on the other end of this line are available 24 hours a day to provide support and a listening ear.
And finally, for someone who may be watching this concerned about their own mental health or maybe the mental health of a loved one, what advice do you have for someone like that?
I think it's important for people to, even though they might feel scared, to know that there's other people that are willing to listen. There's other people who have survived this. And that first phone call is the hardest. It's the bravest step. But we're waiting on the other end of the line to provide that support for them whenever they need it.
Sarah, it was that sign, that billboard that ultimately saved her life. For others, it could be learning today that there is that hotline 988. Thank you to the two of you so much for being here and shedding some light on this issue and this cause. The Alive Together event is next Sunday, October 23rd in Exposition Park. For more information, look at your screen right now. All you have to do is head to didihirsch.org, just so you know. Thanks again.